Touchdown! San Francisco!
Okay, gotta get it.
Now normally I wouldn't approach ya without the formal introduction. Never been the type to move fast, but feeling early eruption. Now tell me, are you down with that? Once you rock with me, ain't no coming back. I need a monkey, come hold me down. A real queen, now come wear this crown. Love it on your line, oh, holler out, flex up. Love it on your line, oh, I'll tell you what's next. Love it on your line, oh, holler out, flex up. Love it on your line, oh, I'll tell you what's next.
Don't be too nervous, man, because all I need Gonzo on this podcast, right? I need that man that's always in the chat. I need that guy today. And don't like, again, it's just like basically just don't even think about it being a podcast. Just think of it just me and you at your house just talking sports, basically.
I got you.
Right? Because the reason why I say that is welcome to the Sunflex podcast. We are here with the route tree. I'm here with my boy that I met from Fort Drum, my boy Angel Gonzalez, aka Teams of Champions, where he got this guy's the super fan of the Rams. Shout out to him when we played out there. When we played football out
Yeah.
there, he gave me this jersey, and I'm gonna keep it forever. Too bad I didn't get it signed from you, but we'll meet again where I get an autograph. But welcome, my boy. Everyone, we're going to be talking about the offseason, and it's been a wild one so far. We have a lot of big pickups. I want to see and pick his brains on how he felt. But the first thing we're going to do is you see him in his Los Angeles Rams jersey. I want to say, how do you feel about what the Rams have been doing so far in this offseason? And then I'll chime in too, because I'm a big fan of your front office.
So, first off, thank you for having me on the show. Second off, like what the Rams been doing this offseason, I think has been like phenomenal. Because right now it's like giving me a lot of like feel from like the 21 season, the win now mentality that they want and want to go by. That's something that I definitely like enjoyed because I felt like they were very aggressive when it came down to like the offseason. But except this time we finally have a first round draft pick. I mean, we had one last year, but I'm talking about like the Oro from 21.
Yeah.
So coming like 20 yards away from beating the world champion Eagles, that right there tells me it's just like, okay, the Rams know that they're close. It's just how close can we get now?
Right.
Because the Eagles are a phenomenal team. They just won the Super Bowl with a guy throwing 18 touchdowns. Like like they practically had Jamarcus Russell playing quarterback out there. Not saying that he's not saying Jalen Hurts is a bad quarterback or anything, but it's just like his numbers did not reflect about what was going on with the Philadelphia Eagles last year. So with that being said, like these past two seasons, like no one really picked us to do anything. And I knew for a fact that it would be hard for me to believe that a Sean McVay like coached team is gonna be rebuilding for too long. Like I get like the 22 season was not what we expected. We just came off the Super Bowl. We unloaded. And then we try to like add guys like Allen Robinson and all that, and it just wasn't working out. But we had like a patchwork defense 2 years ago. We ended up winning 10 games. We won 10 games again this year. But injuries killed us. Injuries killed us. Cup got hurt. Nakua got hurt. Our secondary was like banged up. John Johnson got hurt. Like, we're just picking guys up from the street at that point. But as far as the offseason's going on, like getting Devontae Adams, don't get me wrong, I loved everything that Cup did for us.
Yeah.
But, I like Devontae Adams, a lot of people called him the best receiver in the league, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Even when Cup won the Triple Crown, no one called him the best receiver in the league, But there got to be reasons behind that.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I think injuries was the main reason why the Rams were trying to move on from him, especially with that big contract that he was getting. So I think that's one move that they did because Devontae Adams has been he's been very reliable. The best ability is availability. Now, outside of Adams, we picked up Puna Ford to stop the run because we lost Bobby Brown to the Panthers. And then
That's a big boy right there too.
yeah, it's a big dude. But he's not there to be like our savior on the D line, you know what I mean? We got
Takes the
Fisk, we
double
got
team.
Turner. We're good with that. He's just a run stopper, which is something that we need because that man Saquon Barkley killed us.
Mm.
That man, he was killing us. And then I don't understand why McVay is allergic to linebackers. Like, not talking about the pass rushers, like I'm talking about like the inside linebackers.
Yeah.
Like you get rid of Ernest Jones for nothing. He ends up in Seattle
Mm.
because we traded him to like Tennessee, but then they just like start unloading their guys. He gets straight to Seattle. Now we got to deal with him. Then we have to deal with Cooper Kupp. If Cooper Kupp is healthy, then that's gonna be a problem too. Seattle, man, a lot of people saying that they lost a lot. They didn't lose anything, in my opinion, man. Because I never really thought Geno Smith was that good. So you add a guy who I think is actually pretty decent, in Sam Darnold. You add Cup. DK Metcalf is a freak of nature, but he's arguably one of the worst route runners I've ever seen in my life.
He's just a freak of nature. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. And like Seattle, I don't think that they're gonna be like. Let's just not sleep on them. You know what I mean?
Facts.
It's just like one of those teams. Do not sleep on them. Like same thing with you guys, the 49ers, man. Y'all got rid of some guys, but y'all got rid of aging guys.
I'm gonna
Guys that
bring
weren't
that up
producing.
later. Yeah, I'm gonna bring that up
Yeah,
later.
yeah. But get rid of what was the boy's name? Well, we picked up that line guard from last season. He didn't do anything. He got hurt.
Mm.
We re-signed Jonah Jackson, which is good. We needed that. And I think that's really what we needed at the time. We re-signed Jimmy Garoppolo as our backup, so that's good insurance.
But
We
I
made
will
sure
say,
that Stafford stood.
yeah, I will say this though about your Rams, like, and you've seen me praise your team on our chat, where I've seen because off season is my favorite time of the year. I mean, of course, watching it, but just the mysterious part of what ifs when it comes to teams building. And when I saw y'all start your drafting from that 2022 season, at the year after the Super Bowl, I started seeing a lot of these big names that you were picking that no one was talking about. Right. And then I'm sitting here like, okay, it was like, this is not cool. And then when AD retired, everyone's like, oh, the Rams are done. But I sat there, I was like, bro, did you see this draft class that they just had? And then this year, I'm already thinking the same thing is going to happen for y'all again. Y'all going to do a really good job at drafting. You already have a good core. You got arguably the best duo at wide receiver, playing with arguably one of to me, Matt Stafford's still a top 5 quarterback. I don't care what people say because he still can sling that shit. And every time
Hmm.
he has 2 records with Megatron and Cup. I forgot what the record was, where like he destroyed a wide receiver record with both of them. And it's like on 2 separate teams, Lions and Rams. Like I never say never with Stafford. But overall, when it comes to you guys drafting, that's what I love about your front office. I always pay attention to those teams that know how to draft from the second, third, fourth, and fifth, those middle rounds, because those are where you're gonna get your cream of the crop players that's gonna be, cheap, because then you can spend money on all stars later. With you saying about Seattle, I'm a big fan of that team too. Like not a fan, but like I'm a big fan of what they did this offseason so far. DK to me is, like you said, a freak of nature, but he's also a drama queen. He's always, always, always getting his team into penalties because he's trying to fight somebody. I don't, Cup's not going to do that. He's just going to kill you with these routes. And then Darnold, he had an interview saying like, I learned from Brock Purdy how to just give the weapons the ball and let them do their own thing. He's like, once I had the mindset, that's why I feel like his change once he got Jettas, it was like, bro, just give it to him and let him cook, like let him do his thing. So Darnold's there. They had another big pickup. It was Darnold. I don't remember, but I just know they're not
They
going
picked up a
anywhere.
D lineman.
I know for a
Oh
fact
boy
though,
from the Cowboys.
we'll talk about it too, probably because it's probably on the tracker. But when it comes to the NFC West, we've already talked about this. I believe that it's Rams, and then it's the Niners, Seahawks fighting for second, and then of course Arizona stay down there. Even though they did some good things, they're still trying to figure themselves out. But to the 49ers, all right, the fan base gets on my nerves because they hear a name that left, and then they're like, "Oh man, we're gonna be sorry," and I'm like, "Bro, they were even here last year." And then they don't notice the draft picks that we brought in last year. So we lose Travarius Ward at corner. We drafted Renardo Green, and now he's the starter, and he looks like a starter. We knew
Yeah.
Hufanga being hurt as safety. We picked up this dude named Malik Mustafa, who hits just as hard, and he looked like a starter this year. He's a solid pick. So I'm like, okay, now we lost him. We picked up Mustafa. He's the starter. The who else did I? Oh, we knew that one of the receivers, Debo or Ayuk, had to go. That's why they got Ricky Pearsall. And it was like I saw what they were trying to do. They picked up Garendo at running back because they knew Mitchell and Mason were going to be gone. So like they knew what was happening before it happened because we knew that Brock Purdy's going to have to get paid soon. So the only one that they didn't prepare for was, and the only one that I felt was, a heartbreak was Dre Greenlaw. Like losing him to the Broncos, that was a tough, tough one because now you have that void and you see the void. Like when he came back for a little stint before he got hurt again, there was a
Mhm.
big impact to what he was doing with Fred, and that's the only one I say was bad to lose. But everyone else that like they were already planning this, and I feel confident to say that this draft class, hopefully, I'm not giving my take on how the season's going to do. This draft class is going to make or break how they go. Now, you also mentioned, because I've brought it up a lot too, the 49ers have the weakest schedule next year. They play damn near every top 15 draft pick in the first round in their schedule, besides the 6 games in division. So usually
Right.
what I do is like when I do my prediction, I do 3-3 for the division. I'll just say it's a tie, and then I'll just determine how many wins and losses from the other teams outside. And this, bro, we're playing. If you look at and once we do the draft, every team that I talk about, besides the Raiders, is playing the 49ers. And I'm like, bro, this might be a cakewalk. This might be an easy year for us. So, anything else outside of your team? What do you see out there in the world? How do you feel about the Jets? Tell me something.
Man, I've been killing the Jets for like the past like shit my entire life, man. But nah, these past couple of years specifically, man, is just like when it comes down to the Jets, people say they have top 5 talent everywhere. The top 5 corner, top 5 linebackers, top 5 defensive line, top 1 quarterback of all time, in their opinion. Top 5 running back duos, top 5 receiving core, but yet they don't win. It doesn't translate to wins. So either these guys are overrated or somebody's, you know what I mean? Like somebody's lying to me right now because you can't sit here and tell me that the Jets have all these best everything and then end up winning 4 games. Like I get their coaching is horrible. They have no leaders at coaching. I get that, but however, I've seen mid coaches take teams to the playoffs. Um, what's dude's name from the Bears like a couple years ago back in 2018?
Lovey
It's
Smith?
not Ebert, not Lovey Smith. Old boy with Trubisky.
Oh, he's back with the Nagy.
Matt Nagy. Yeah, like he was arguably considered the worst coach in the league. He made the playoffs 2 out of 3 years with Mitch Trubisky as his quarterback.
Yeah.
So, but if you have like a team that has all these talent about the Jets, man, you can't, the math is just not mathing to me. So it's just like for one of those, like, and then they just picked up Justin Fields too, which I know a lot of Jets fans wanted Justin Fields from the draft instead of Zach Wilson, which I don't know, man, because like that draft is weird to me because I still think Trevor Lawrence is a talented quarterback, but
He's not living
it's
up
not
to
showing.
expectations. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not showing. Now, as for like when it came down to you guys, you talk about Hugh Vonga's gone, Greenlow's gone. It's hard to bounce back from a torn Achilles, especially when you play in a linebacker role like that.
Yeah.
And he tore his stuff in like the middle of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That takes a year to heal, man. I'm surprised he even came back at all.
Yeah. I was surprised too.
And then when you mentioned Hugh Fonga been, he been hurt, but when he was actually playing, I thought he was still hurt.
Yeah.
I was watching again. What was that one game? I think it was like a Thursday night game y'all had or something like that. And like they were showing Hufanga on the sideline. I'm like, has he? Wait, he's not hurt? I thought he was like on IR or something like that. And
Yeah,
someone was like, not.
he was playing, but he wasn't Hufanga. Like he wasn't the that electrical guy out there flying around. And he had like this big cast that was balled up on his hand. So he was playing, but
I do
like
remember. I do remember seeing that. Yeah, he had that
he
club.
he he was playing, but he wasn't the impactful guy that we drafted those years back.
It's hard. It's hard to repeat, success in the NFL. It's extremely hard. Like you could literally have the same team you have from the year before, and it's just not clicking. It's just not working. Because like a lot of people need to understand, they have $1 million coaches that are living and breathing tape, figuring out how to shut down your best player, your impactful player. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when that Sunday comes around, man, you know what I mean? They're gonna put people somewhere to stop your guys. Going back to the Rams in 2018, we looked unstoppable all year up until we played the Bears. The Bears play some dumbass fucking 5-1 triangle zone defense, and all Bill Belichick did was just run the same thing the whole time. And then whenever we ran into, ever since then, every time we ran into someone that was running that same defense right, like the Dolphins or whatever, Jared Goff didn't know where to throw the damn ball. And people wondered why. I'm like, okay, I think it's time for us to let Jared Goff go because in this scheme, you play this one defense, you're stopping the entire offense.
Right.
You know? And in 21 season, first thing we did was play the Bears. They were running that 5-1 triangle zone defense, and this man Stafford was picking them apart. You know?
Yeah.
It gets outdated. Like things do get outdated. And then
That's
when it came down to you guys, like you got rid of some of those names. And on top of that, like I know 49ers are our rivals, but that Brock Purdy slander that everyone's doing, oh, he needs all the superstars around him. Like, well, when those are your starters, you know what I mean? You expect them to play, but they're not playing.
right.
Obviously, you're not gonna get the same results. It's just it is what it is. You lost McCaffrey though. Like he played like what 2 games?
A half a game.
He
He
played he
put
played a half a game. Was hurt the whole year.
Trent
This
Williams
is
was
like
hurt
what?
damn near the whole year.
Yeah, he's what, like a top 3 running back.
Yeah.
It's hard to replace a guy like Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Debo Samuel, he was like your like Thunder Force right there. Like you give him the ball, he's gonna move it around, take it to the house. He's been hurt.
And
You, you
he's underperformed this year too. Like there was a tweet he had like, "Give me the ball," and then the next game, Purdy purposely was feeding him the ball and he kept dropping it. I forgot what
buttering
game
him,
it
yeah.
was, and I was like, "Yeah, it's time. You got to go, man. It's time. Your time here has come to an end."
But it's hard to say the 49ers are gonna fall off, man. It's like really hard to say because you still got Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall is supposed to be the up and comer. Kittle is still there. McCaffrey's gonna come back. He's gonna be healthy. Brock Purdy he didn't take the 49ers to the Super Bowl by accident.
Right. He still had to
He didn't
perform.
he didn't do it by accident. I get that you guys had like a great defense and all, but you need all that. You need all that to win games. So all this, oh, Brock Purdy needs his boys like slander. I'm like, yes, every player needs that.
Yeah.
You can have prime Joe Montana out there, but if you're getting a bunch of guys from like Watertown High School, you're not gonna win games.
Shout out to Watertown. How you feel about the rest of the league? Like, one I like to talk about because I hate them. I don't hate nobody, but like I dislike this team's the Cowboys. Like, when are they gonna ever do anything? Like, are they gonna have to wait till the boss man gets called home, or I'm not gonna say die, but you know what I mean.
I get where you're going with that.
You know what I mean? It's like, dude, is this one of those like we have to because every year it's the same, and they they have some good players there. I'm always gonna say they're gonna lose, but it's just like they don't do nothing in the offseason but pick up smaller like no name players and then expect to be the Cowboys. So it's like
So the problem is just like I think Jerry Jones, like he's not spending a lot of money like he used to, like from back in like the 2010s, like 2010, 2011, where he was like spending mad money on all these free agents and all that. I guess he's trying to do away with it because all those bad contracts he was getting. But the
Mm-hmm.
problem is they do the same. I agree. He does the same thing every year. He has gaping holes on his defense, and first thing he does is draft some slot receiver, give him 88, and tell him he's going to be the best receiver in the league. Don't get me wrong, CD Lamb is nice,
Yeah.
but if they have they have like what 3-4 good players right now, that's worth a damn.
Yeah.
I think they need to sell Micah Parsons.
That's true.
Sell him for a king's ransom. Get all these first round. Come on, you did it with Herschel Walker,
Facts.
and you could win games with I won't say mediocre, but it's hard to replace a guy like Micah Parsons. But you could replace him with somebody else and have all these first round draft picks because defensive line in these couple of drafts, it's pretty stacked.
Yeah. This year's
To say
D
the least.
line is stacked, especially this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, because I was looking at some of these names and I'm just like, a guy in the 4th round probably would have been a first round draft pick like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for Dallas, they need to sell Parsons, get a king's ransom for him, because somebody, I don't know, like the Raiders or some schmo team out there is gonna pay a lot for just him.
Just for the
Maybe the
name.
Panthers got a lot of cap room,
Yeah.
and they're guaranteed to give you like a top 5 pick every year at this point. But I think the same thing goes down to them. Like it's all coaching with the Panthers because I don't think Bryce Young is that bad.
He's
It's
not.
just he doesn't have anything to work with.
Yeah. Exactly.
But going back with Dallas, man, like if they really want to do something, they need to sell. They need to sell Micah Parsons. Maybe think about getting rid of CD Lamb. I'm not too sure. And in that point, you probably gotta get rid of Prescott too.
He's
But
expensive.
he's very expensive. But people don't like admitting it because he's a Cowboys quarterback. But he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
He's a good quarterback. Because occasionally Dallas does win those 13, 14 games a year. Occasionally.
True. Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Granted, they get blown out in the first round, but
They still make it. Yeah. It's true.
they still make it there. They still make some noise.
Since we're gonna talk, since we're in, well, go ahead. Ask the question before I go.
Nah, because I was actually thinking about what the hell are the Saints doing?
Well, you guys, I know their situation is tough, right? And whoever's the coach and the GM coming in, they have a lot that they have to go and fix. One, they're capped out with their salary. Like they have too many big. That's why I think I read an article today or yesterday where Alvin Kamara is being shopped and he wants to be traded. So it's like he's on the block. He's expensive. You have Cam Jordan. He's expensive. They have a lot of expensive contracts that they're like Derek Carr, and they don't have no draft picks either. So it's like they're in that part right now where like they should be top 10, top whatever, but I don't think they have their first round pick for some reason. I forgot what it was, but for them it's just really they're number 9. But for them it's really just they can't afford people right now, and they're trying to contract dump so they can start drafting younger because they're not doing nothing, especially with Baker Mayfield looking like how he is right now with the Bucks out there.
I wasn't tracking. He scored 42 touchdowns.
Who Baker? He played
Yeah.
well this year. He played well this year and
Yeah.
last year.
Bro, that is insane, dude. I did not know Baker Mayfield had 42 touchdowns last year.
He killed. What you shoot? I mean, when you have arguably one of the best wide receivers of all time in Mike Evans,
Yeah.
it's going to be pretty easy. That's a big, tall dude to grab all the footballs you're throwing over there. I want to go back
Yeah.
to the NFC East. We just talked about the Cowboys. Congrats to the Eagles. Howard Roseman, their GM, he does a phenomenal job. For some reason he loves the fucking Georgia Bulldogs, and he has 7 of them now from that 2020 national championship team on his team now. I know you're saying boo. I don't like them either, but I like their front office. Like again, I admire the front office.
Howie's a phenomenal GM.
How they trade, they still have cap space. Like they're not even capped out. They're still picking up players. Very like even though they lost a few, they still have a lot of players there. The real question is, do you see? And I know my answer. I just want to ask you. The Commanders went to the NFC title game. Do you see them being successful next year or repeating that type of success that they had this year?
No,
That's what I said.
no.
I believe the Jaden Daniels is going to hit the sophomore slump just like CJ Stroud did.
Yeah,
That's where
yeah, I see that.
that's what I think will happen. But like you said, no. Why do you say that?
So that right there, sophomore slump right there. I mean, looking at this, like Commanders team, they live and die with Jaden Daniels, but their defense carried a lot.
Yeah,
You know, with Bobby Wagner over there, and they picked up Lattimore in the middle of the season. It's like these guys knew what they were doing. However, you gotta understand they were in the NFC title game, right?
yeah.
Were they better than the teams that they beat? Were they better than the Bucks? Were they better than the Lions?
Just just for that game, yes, but not overall. Like if
Yeah,
you
no,
match them up,
I'm just saying like overall, if you are picking a team right now, like this is gonna be the team that I'm picking right now. Are you gonna pick the Bucks, this Bucks team, or are you gonna pick this Commanders team? Because I'm picking the Bucks team.
yeah, facts.
Am I gonna pick up this Lions team or am I gonna pick up this Commanders
It's
team? I'm
definitely
picking
Detroit.
this Lions team.
Yeah,
You know, when the lights went on, you know, they beat them. You know, it happens. Football is a
I
football's a
love foot.
weird
That's why
sport,
I
dude.
love it. That's why I love it. Any given Sunday, that's why I love it.
Any given Sunday, Saturday, and sometimes
Thursday.
Wednesdays, depending on what country you're at. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a Wednesday for you, but
Yep, that's
but
exactly what it's gonna be.
you know what I mean? Football's a weird sport, but I think that they're still gonna be a good team. I'm not saying that they're gonna drop down to like 4 wins, 6 wins, or something like that. They're gonna win like another 10 games, but there's way too many good up and coming teams in NFC, and people also need to understand and I know this more than anybody. Teams don't suck forever.
Yeah,
They don't. It may take you years. I mean, I've been a Rams fan since like the old St. Louis days. Okay, right here on my arm. All right. I've seen the 1-15 seasons, man. I've seen the 2-14 seasons, and I'm sitting here like, bro, what are they doing? What are these guys doing? And you know, when Sean McVay came around, I didn't know a 32-year-old coach is gonna completely turn around a franchise that hadn't made the playoffs in 13 years.
which is crazy. He's younger than some of his players.
Yeah. So when it comes down to like that, I mean, like I said, the Commanders, I think they're still gonna make some noise. Giants, I don't see the Giants doing. I think the Giants are gonna be in for another long season. But
Yeah,
you need to, so like teams don't suck forever. So you need to come up with all these these might up and coming teams, because a lot of casuals, especially like I wouldn't even say casuals, because like the experts, ESPN and all of them, they do the same thing every year. They copy and paste last year's playoffs to this year, put one or two up and coming teams, and then act like it's a whole original prediction. You
no,
know what I mean?
yeah. So
So like
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
so so going with that, man, it's hard for me to see like the Commanders repeat their success, but they're still gonna be a good team.
That's a fact. I want to move it towards the AFC West, and then we'll go into the draft pretty soon. But I want to go in the AFC West because I want your opinions, because the Chiefs, to me, they took an L as far as offseason. They picked up some players, but they lost a lot of players too. Um, you got the Raiders, the Broncos did pretty well this offseason with what they did. Hopefully, like I said, if Greenlaw and Hufanga stays healthy, they just got two dogs for their defense to go with PS2. But I really want to talk about Harbaugh's Chargers. I'm seeing what he's doing, and they just picked up. You probably don't give a damn about it, but Tyler Conklin, the tight end from the Jets.
Mm,
Hardball is picking hardball type players. He got Najee Harris now as his running back. He gets Makai Becton, who is 6'8", next to Joe Alt, his rookie tackle, who is 6'8". And so you got his power offensive line already set. If Herbert just gets the heck, like if he wakes the fuck up, he could be a top five quarterback. But I see what he's doing. He's like, I always tell people when coaches come in and you know their mindset, that it's never the first year that you want to judge him. You want to wait till he has two off seasons, because now he can really truly put his system in place. He got his coaches where he needs them, and he's got the type of players that play hard nosed football, which is hardball type of football. And I like what they're doing so far this year. I know they lost. I know Khalil Mack's not back yet. I know they lost Joey Bosa to the Bills. they lost some players. They still need to sign Asante Samuel Jr. But I love a hardball team in general. I just love the way they play. But I want you to tell me how you feel about the entire AFC West.
Well, first off, I wonder why you like Harbaugh. But but nah, man, Harbaugh, he's see when you look at a guy that's been in the league for a while, left for a while, and then comes back, you gotta look at what he has on the team that he's coming in with.
Yeah.
Chargers, I don't understand what goes on with them, man. Well, first off, their schedule release videos are goated. All them damn anime intros that they do,
That's facts.
you know. And I actually like, kind of like going away from what we're talking about just now, but like when it comes down to like all these, I always look at all these teams when it comes down to like, them revealing their opponents and all that. They always show like the Rams come, your opponent is obviously gonna be like the villain of that arc or whatever, right?
Right.
And I enjoy all like the villainous like Ram montages that they have. So I think it's actually pretty cool. But going back to what the Chargers do, man, Harbaugh's gonna build a team that he knows is gonna be successful. So what better way to see that is the what year was that? When you guys went to the NFC title game, it was like what, 2009? 2009 49ers?
It was 11 and 12. Well, 11 and then 12 was the Super Bowl.
Okay, the year before that, so it was like the 11th season.
Yeah.
Let's just go with that because, like, technically speaking, y'all had like I think you guys had a better team that year. It's just, y'all didn't run into lucky ass Eli Manning somehow winning fucking playoff games with garbage around him.
Yeah, I won't
Anyways,
talk about that.
anyways, but you gotta look at the how that team was built. All right, you had that big back and Frank Gore. You had that big ass offensive line. You had a quarterback that his job was just not lose. Don't lose the game. That's it. And that's what he's trying to build, man. He brought in Najee Harris. Najee Harris is no Frank Gore, but
Yeah.
the running style is there. He's not all that fast, but he's a power guy and he can move around a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wants that tight end. He got that tight end that he wanted. You know what I mean? And what's that dude's? No, Lad McConkey came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I
like
only
him.
drafted him because of the name.
For real?
Yeah, my fantasy team, I only drafted him because I'm like, Lad McConkey, I like that name. I can't believe I just forgot that name real quick.
It's gonna be a household name. Like coming out of Georgia.
It's gonna be a household name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, he wants that one big guy and a bunch of other guys, just to make sure that they're there and all that. But he's building a team like that. And Joey Bosa's good, but he always gets hurt. He's hurt every year.
Availability.
Every year he's getting hurt. So it's just like, listen, you could be the best player of all time, but if you're playing one or two games, man, like what conversation are we having?
Facts.
So I think Harbaugh's trying to build the team that he wants. Is it gonna work though? I don't know. Especially when it comes down to a guy like Herbert, because I don't see Herbert being a game manager. He's gonna want to sling that shit.
Facts.
I'm also very biased about Herbert because I am an Oregon Ducks fan. So
I like him.
But I like him. It's just like they underachieve too much. They underachieve because every year people are like, it's the Chargers year. The Chargers are gonna do good, and then they end up like being mid.
Yeah. So disappointing.
Yeah. So if we're gonna move on to like the other guys in the division, I mean like the Seattle Raiders, they're looking pretty washed.
I don't know what they're doing.
Given the fact, bro, they almost had DK Metcalf. It's just Metcalf said he didn't want to play with Carroll no more. So they traded him to like the Steelers, which I don't know. The Steelers win like a ghost 10 games and then just do nothing for the rest of their lives. But Raiders, I don't think what was their record last year?
They're picking in the top 5, I believe. I don't know their record though. Okay. But that should tell you.
They're 6.
Yeah.
They're 6 right there. Okay, yeah, so they were pretty bad. I mean, I see them like, I guess at that point I see them getting better, but how better? Nah, I'm not really too sure. Because we need to understand, man. There's a reason why a guy like Geno Smith was garbage most of his career. You know what I mean? 1 or 2, 3 good years doesn't, it's not going to define a person. You got to be consistent.
Yeah.
And given the fact that he was in Seattle with a really talented offense and he made the playoffs once.
Yeah.
Granted, they won 10 games last year. But look who they had, bro. They had Metcalf, they had Smith and Jigba, they had Lockett, they had Kenneth Walker. You know what I mean?
K9,
Their
yep.
defense was solid, you know? And they took advantage because we were hurt in the beginning of the year. You guys were hurt most of the year. And then the Cardinals are just like bad. They had a chance. But it's they brought us to overtime in Seattle.
Yeah.
The only problem is though they couldn't capitalize on it. They gave Stafford the ball with the game on the line. That's a deadly combination.
Mm.
So I see the Raiders getting better than what they did, but I don't see them getting better. As far as the Chiefs, I mean, what can we say about them, man? They're the new Patriots.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have a quarterback, badass coach, and then you're just gonna have like one or two household names on the defense, and then everybody else is just a plug and play player. So they're gonna win another 12 games. Those refs on the payroll thing. I mean, I do agree. A lot of the calls are petty. However, most of them are right.
Mm.
Most of them are right. Like I get you can't call holding on a game on the line pass play in the Super Bowl. Yeah, but it was holding. They said old boy's name from the Ravens likely. They said likely was stepped out of bounds on the game winning throw. Well, his foot was out of bounds.
Yeah. It was plain
Oh,
Jane. It was right there.
yeah. Oh, George Pickens got 2 feet down. No, he didn't. He just tapped 1 foot.
Yeah.
2 feet. 2 feet down. 2 feet down. The rule isn't tap 1 foot. So he's either 2 feet, 2 hands, foot, hand. One elbow counts as 2 feet. Knee counts as 2 feet. Come on, we know the rules.
Right.
So do they have the refs on the payroll? I don't think so. Is the NFL stage? I don't think so. But are the Chiefs a very well coached, disciplined team? Yes. Yes, they
Yeah.
are. That's how they keep getting away with all those ghost calls or whatever, because it is happening.
Yeah.
Broncos, man, you gotta look after them, man. You gotta look out for them.
I like what they're
Because
doing.
that man, Bo Nix, he even said straight. He says, "I don't mind being carried."
Yeah, facts.
So, and the way he was playing, man, it was very like John Elway-esque. He was running around in the pocket. He was like launching the ball, playing safe. You know what I mean? Sliding. I need my running backs to, take more pressure off. Good defense. That's the Bronco way.
Yeah, and speaking of Bo Nix, I will be the first to say I was wrong on him. I didn't believe that he was going to be a solid quarterback. Now, I only said that because I didn't like what I saw. Like, he's an older cat coming from Oregon, right? He played 8 years in college or something like that. So like
Yeah.
I'm like, but I like to be wrong sometimes because when I'm wrong, then it looks good to watch because I love that. I love what they're doing over there. Like Sean Payton and his staff are making something good out there. Speaking of the draft and being wrong, that's what we're gonna go turn our topics over. Okay, draft is next month. I want to say I know it's usually in April. So Los Angeles Rams, you are in the war room with your team. What are your top needs, and who do you want to fill those needs with?
All right. So if I'm the GM, thank God I'm not, right? But if I'm the GM, right, I need a corner. I need a corner. I need a corner. A draft like this, though, you don't draft a corner in the first round.
It's tough.
Like you just can't. Like I think Todd mentioned it in the group that if you want a corner, you need to change. You need to trade back because corners are a dime a dozen. You know what I mean? Like it's very rare you'll have like a Jalen Ramsey type guy in the first round.
Yeah.
That's gonna guarantee give you an impact.
Or PS2.
Yeah, or Patrick Surtain or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's hard to get guys like that. But right now we're talking about superstars. I don't think we're gonna get like a mega star right now at corner. But I need a corner. I mean, Thomas from Florida State is actually like a name that pops in my head. Who else? I mean, Harrison,
So,
Barron.
one I will add, and it's only because he was injured last year that I'm alarmed of it. But before he was hurt, coming out of Michigan, Will Johnson, that guy was like before hurt, he was looking like that next top 10 draft pick, like for a corner. Now that he's coming off an injury, people are kind of like, and that's where he's gonna start dropping in the draft. But if you want to talk about the top person, I believe it's Will Johnson when healthy, and that's only saying when healthy. I believe he's 6'2", 205. He has the range and stuff. But again, it's about what you said in the beginning of this podcast. The best ability is availability, and you could be the greatest of all time, but if you only play 2 games, you're really not the greatest of all time. So that's I just want to put my 2 cents in as far as the corners. But what other things you looking at as far as the GM for the Rams?
So that's if I was a GM, right?
Yeah, yes.
If the Rams are smart, if the Rams are smart, because I actually I have this picture in my car. It's a picture of Matt Stafford getting sacked by Jalen Carter on the
Mm,
game-winning drive that we couldn't complete. Right?
right.
It was that picture. I have that in my car, and I look at it, and I'm just like,
Every day.
that was a play that beat us. That was a play. I get we still had like a 4th down after that, and it was like 4th and 11, snowstorm. Stafford was slinging it towards the end of the game, but I think it was too little, too late. Someone needs to tell Matt Stafford it's okay to be good the whole game.
Facts.
You don't have to be just good the last 5 minutes of the game. It's frustrating to watch. Like, come on. I love my quarterback. All right, he's my champion. That's my quarterback.
Yeah.
But someone needs to tell him it's okay to be good the whole game. But if we're smart, get an offensive lineman. We need an offensive lineman. And we don't need like just good offensive, because we have good offensive linemen. But we need someone that's gonna completely like hold up a side. You know what I mean? Like, and as soon as Andrew Whitworth retired, that it showed.
Mhm.
It showed. But remember when I had that Oregon Duck bias that I said?
Mhm.
Shout out to my mix too, by the way.
Yeah.
But the OT from Oregon, Josh Connerly, I think that would be the right pick. I think that will be the right pick. Because, we need an inside linebacker. Omar Speights did great. He's undrafted. He was an undrafted free agent. Players are undrafted for a reason.
Yeah.
So if his weaknesses start to show, or if someone says, okay, this guy's gonna be a problem, we need to figure out how to stop him, what made him an undrafted free agent? You know what I mean? So, I think the proper pick is Josh Connerly.
So you're going corner and you're going um offensive lineman. Left tackle.
Mhm.
He's left tackle or right tackle?
He is a right guard, actually.
No, right guard. Okay. Oh well,
Yeah.
that's good because
I mean, he could play. He
I'm a
could play.
fan
He
of
could play outside. He could play outside,
I'm a
but
fan of Steve Avila, like your left guard. So it's like
mhm.
having 2 of those guys in the middle. That'd be nice. Is there
Yeah.
any other positions that you're looking at before I go on?
I hate to say this because he's a good guy, but we need a running back. Not in the first
Man,
round. Not in the first round, but we need a
it's
running
a
back.
it's a heavy class of running backs too. You can
I
get
mean,
a solid one at 3 or 4.
Kyron Williams, man, those 3 fumbles in the playoffs
Mm,
killed us.
yeah.
You know, I get that we couldn't stop Saquon Barkley to save our life, but when we were giving them the ball back in the red zone, wasn't helping.
At all.
Wasn't helping. And it's funny too, because like last year I told everyone I want either Quinyon Mitchell or Cooper DeJean.
And the Eagles got both.
And the Eagles got both of them.
Fuck. Shout out
I'm
Howard
just looking at
Roseman.
him like, bro, like, come on. Don't get me wrong. I did want Kool-Aid McKinstry too, but I didn't think he was gonna be a first round pick.
He's with y'all, isn't he?
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
He's with the Saints.
Oh, okay. Oh, damn. Yeah, you're right.
I'll tell you what, though, I was very proud about how our corners ended up at the end of the season, though. The way Keller Witherspoon he knew the system. I'm surprised we didn't bring him back sooner. But as soon as Darion Kendrick went down, and I hate rooting for injuries, but he needs to go. Guy's garbage. He can't cover anything. But we as soon as we picked up Keller Witherspoon again, we had Kobe Durant, him and Kobe Durant playing the outside. I'm like, okay, it's not bad. Then we had like Cam Kitchens, we had Cam Curl, playing safeties. It was we were doing pretty decent when it came down to our secondary. Our secondary was playing really good, especially when our defensive line finally started waking up. Oh, FYI though, I'm not gonna say that I've been a fan of Jared Verse the entire time he was here because
Oh
the
yeah,
first
I've read your comments in the
the
past.
first 4 weeks of the season, man, I wanted this fucking guy's head on a silver platter, dude. That
Yeah,
game against the Cardinals, that was all. He was the reason why we lost that game because he had hands on Kyler Murray 12 times. 12 times he had hands on Kyler Murray. He recorded 0 sacks the whole game.
but touched him.
But he had hands on him. Kyler Murray kept breaking his tackles. I was talking to my friend about that too, and I said, bro, because he's a Florida State fan. I said, dude, this guy Jared Verse that you were praising his entire offseason is garbage. He said, bro, it's just Kyler Murray. I'm like, you can't say it's just Kyler Murray because the second most sacked quarterback from Aaron Donald is Kyler Murray. And he says that's not a fair assessment. He's about maybe like 2 feet taller than him, and for some ungodly reason, just as fast as him. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're right. But then I realized that he's not just a pass rusher. He plays the outside well. And then when the playoffs came in, that guy, he turned up.
He became a villain with the Eagles. I loved it.
Which is fine with me because I
Yeah,
hate the Eagles too.
that was fun.
So yeah. And then that little rivalry we had going on with the Lions kind of died out already.
Hmm.
Which is another thing too, because everyone still uses that same narrative of, oh, it was an even trade because the Rams won the Super Bowl that first year, but the Lions have a better future. Did we not just win a playoff game and they didn't?
Still
And then
the
now with
future
this,
though.
huh?
No, no, just playing around.
No, I mean like they do have a good future. I get that, but like my what I'm envisioning right now, this is like my envision. Actually, we'll talk about that when that subject come up. We're still in the draft.
All right, so for the 49ers, I always do this. If I'm in there, my mentality is always going to be the same. There's three important things you must do first when it comes to building a team, right? One, franchise quarterback. They got Purdy, so he's good. Then the next thing is protect that quarterback. So, and then you want to have to disrupt the other quarterback. So it's always your defensive line, offensive line, quarterback. So they have a quarterback, they have an aging offensive line, left tackle, and they only have Bosa on that defensive line. So I'm looking at this, I'm looking straight at my first pick. If I'm going to be on the 49ers at that time, it's going to be one of the edge rushers. I'm looking at like the two boys coming out of Georgia, but Michael Williams, I like better over Jalen Walker. I think that's his name. But either way, it's one of those guys. I'm going edge rusher first. You mentioned corners. There's a cornerback that I want us to get, but he's not like even in the front end of the list. His name is Kobe Bryant from Kansas.
I know who
Uh,
that is. I know who
yes,
that is.
I like him. I think he's one of those people that are slept on, and I think we could get him in the middle rounds. But then again, it goes defensive line first. I want a defensive tackle because this is a heavy defensive tackle class. We don't have any. We got a bunch of nobodies from a practice squad. Just so my first two would be an edge rusher, a defensive tackle, and then I will because the offensive line. I think you can steal somebody in the third round. So those are my top three needs for them, and I hope they do it like that. Everyone right now, and we're gonna go into it right now, are saying that we're picking up a left tackle just for Trent Williams to go away. But I feel like we don't necessarily need to do that right now. Like we could do that next draft, but you can still draft on the other like because we have like about almost 13 picks, 11 picks, I think. There's a lot of people that you can pick up in the middle rounds that are going to be solid. And John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are known to not be good in the first round, but they always find gems between 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So it's like I believe in them with that side of the draft and not the earlier ones. I think they could keep fumbling the early ones. Shout out to Trey Lance. So we're going into it. We're gonna do the first 15 picks. All right. I'm gonna tell you. Shout out to Mel Kiper. We're gonna use his tracker, and I'm gonna tell him who he's gonna draft. But then I want your opinion on what that team should do at that pick and who you think should go there. So with the first pick, the Tennessee Titans, Mel Kiper has Cam Ward, the quarterback from Miami. Um, I believe that's the right pick. Um, I don't think anything else would go there. I think they fumbled with the quarterback they have now. I mean, I don't know how many young quarterbacks they had, but like they all suck. And no offense, but I think Cam Ward, and I'll tell you, this quarterback class isn't impressive either. So I don't think Cam Ward is a first pick overall type player.
No, I don't think
He
so
could
either.
surprise me, and I could be wrong again, but I just don't see him and Shador at being that good. I think Shador is a little better than Cam Ward, but that's me. But who do you think Tennessee should pick, or do you think this is the right pick, and why?
So if you really want me to be honest right now, I think Tennessee sells that pick.
But to who? Because I like that the idea.
Pittsburgh.
Ooh,
Yeah, Steelers, they're always gonna win 10 games. They're always gonna be late in the draft, and they're always missing what? A
a
quarterback.
quarterback.
A quarterback. They're not gonna give him a king's ransom. They're probably gonna give him 2 first-round picks. But I think that, like, if I'm the Steelers, if I'm smart or whatever, right? I am trading those 2 first-round picks to Tennessee to get Cam Ward.
So Cam Ward's the pick for the first
I
pick.
think Cam Ward is the right pick right there for those guys. But if we're doing like a little multiverse thing right now, and the Tennessee Titans pick that, who was their quarterback last year? It was
I can't remember his
Will
name.
Levis, right? No, it
Oh,
wasn't
Levis.
Levis.
It was Levis.
What was it
Yeah.
Levis?
Yes.
Oh, I keep getting like mixed up with Malik Willis. Will Levis, I mean, they gotta give him some time, man. He just got
That
drafted, didn't he?
that's the problem with drafting a quarterback. It's like
Sure.
you're trying to make
They
them
don't need they
grow.
don't need they don't need 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, they force them to try to be great right then. Look at Sam Darnold and look at Geno Smith. They didn't start off good. Look at Baker Mayfield. He didn't start off good, but give him some years, give him a season or 2 or 3 to get these playbooks, and they became solid quarterbacks.
Yeah, I don't think quarterback is a smart pick for the Tennessee Titans. They should go like a pass rusher. Get a
Yep.
pass rusher. Who's the best pass rusher? Abdul Carter, right?
Yep, that's who they compare him to the person he wore number 11 at Penn State for, Micah Parsons. That's who they compare him to.
I think they get him.
They
I think
should
that'll be I think that'll be a smarter pick because there's no reason to have 2 rookie quarterbacks on your team.
right.
You know what I mean? I mean, he's not gonna be a rookie this year, but there's no point in having 2 young guys because who are they gonna learn from? The if you take Cam Ward, he's gonna have the same problems that Will Levis had.
No mentorship either.
No mentorship. You know, well, unless they're gonna sign Aaron Rodgers, which Aaron Rodgers isn't gonna go to Tennessee.
Yeah, so there's reports that I'm reading on the side of it. He's visiting Pittsburgh right now.
Yeah, like that'll be smart for him. But the only thing is though, is like he's not gonna do what he did with the Jets. You know what I mean? The Jets just
Yeah,
let him do whatever the fuck he wanted.
yeah.
Mike Tomlin's not gonna have that.
Facts.
But I say like Abdul Carter is gonna be the Tennessee pick if they don't sell it.
All right. I like that pick. I think he is the only thing with him, it's he had an ankle injury that people are alarmed on, but he's still considered the best overall player of this draft besides Travis Hunter. So we're going to now number 2, Cleveland Browns, who Mel Kiper thinks Abdul Carter goes there. So you put him and Miles Garrett together. That looks nice. So for me, I think that's the right pick. If I'm still taking Cam Ward first, that means Will Levis has to leave or something, or they pick up a veteran quarterback that's out there that's still available. Abdul Carter to me is the right pick. He is the best player overall to me, and him just pairing him up with Miles Garrett would be something fun to watch.
Mhm. I mean, that would be a pretty badass combination. I mean, Miles Garrett demanded a trade because he says it's not about money and it's about winning and that's his dream and all that, which I agree
Bullshit.
with him. However,
He got
however,
paid.
hold on. However, when you're waving almost $200 million in your face, you're gonna
I'll,
want to stay.
I'll take that. Thank you.
You know, like we're looking at this as fans. You know,
Yeah.
this is these guys' job. You know, so we're both military guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's not a lot of deployments going on or whatever, but the Navy is deploying a lot. We need to do our job. Well, let's get out the Army and join the Navy. But the Army says, but what if you stay here and we pay you like 20,000 more?
Those career counselors will get you, man.
Those career counselors, man, they'll get you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, so you're gonna stay. You and I are gonna stay. That damn those deployments.
Facts.
So, but yeah, nah. So Abdul Carter and Miles Garrett would be a nasty ass combination. However,
Since you picked Abdul first, that
I have
means yeah,
Abdul already gone off the board,
yeah.
and it's the Cleveland Browns. You already know what time it is. They get a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Shadur Sanders allowing the Browns to pick him, so I say they're going to take Cam Ward.
Yeah. That makes that I think your first two make sense to me as far as what they need. If you're gonna stick with Will Levis, take the best player on the board, and then of course with Cleveland having like the worst luck right now with quarterbacks, you take the best quarterback in the class. So I agree with what you're doing so far. Number three is the New York Giants. Mel
Hold on,
Kiper has
before we get to that though, I
yeah.
got a question to ask you. Like this is a serious question. Did the Deshaun Watson trade make sense at the time to you?
Yes, it did. It made sense,
I'll be lying
but
if I said it. If I said it didn't make sense to
yeah,
me. But
hindsight says no, but of course, that's hindsight. Like when it happened, you got to think, besides that suspension he had, he was coming off of the AFC title game. So it was like it wasn't like he just lost to KC, and he was just having one of his best years. That's hence why he got paid the way he got paid. They thought they were going to get that type of a quarterback that they saw in the AFC title game, which was a really good game against the Chiefs. He just got outdueled by Patrick Mahomes. That was all it was. So go like if I take myself back to that year, of course it was the right thing. But now that
was
you
that the
see it,
playoff game where KC was like losing 28-0 and somehow KC won like 52
yeah,
to 28 or something
it
like that?
it was the game where first three quarters it was all Texans, and then and the Chiefs came back and won. Like
Yeah,
it,
no, it's
yeah, but that's what they were basing the value of him. That's how I think the Cleveland Browns saw it. And now that we see it, it looks bad because it didn't pan out. But at the time, I wasn't hating on that pick. I was like, oh, that's actually solid. They needed a quarterback. The only thing we can base it off was his last game, which he did well in. It
yeah,
just so happens to be Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, that was a good question though.
yeah. All right, we can move on.
All right, let's go. So the third pick is going to the New York Giants. Mel Kiper has quarterback from Colorado, Shador Sanders. I believe this is the pick. He's a big name, big brand, and the Big Apple. I think that's what's happening right now. Is the first two picks? He Eli Manninged his way to the Giants. That's what I feel. He's not gonna go to the Titans. He's not gonna go to the Browns. This is the perfect fit for him. I'm not big on him. Like, oh, he's gonna be the. I honestly think he's gonna be solid. And the reason why I say that is when he played in the Pac-12, no, Big Ten, he didn't have one of the best offensive lines at the time. He was running for his life every time he said hike, and he still came out as one of the top quarterbacks statistically. And I'm like, all right, if you can do that here, at least you understand how to escape away from all this stuff. Now it's a different ball game in the pros. I get it, but I think those instincts that he had coming from Colorado, knowing that his offensive line was boo boo, I think like it pans out for him, and I think that's the best fit for him. It's a marketing thing for the Giants to have a big name like that on his roster. There's rumors that maybe his dad becomes the coach if he leaves Colorado. I mean, there's a lot of things like that, but I think that's the business. Like if I'm standing on business, that's the right pick.
I think that we are all standing on the same ground. Shadur Sanders. He even
Yeah.
he even has like customized cleats with the Giants logo on it
Already, damn.
already, man. Like so, yeah, it's gonna be Shadur Sanders for this pick. I mean, we could argue Travis Hunter, but you know, it's the Giants. They're quarterback driven. They
Hmm.
need their quarterback. However, in my opinion, I think that the Sanders brothers coming out of this draft is overrated.
Yeah, especially the older one, the second one. I forgot. Um, Damn, I can't even think of his name right now. Shiloh. Yeah, I think he goes
Yeah,
undrafted, but I think he gets drafted only solely on his last name.
yeah, it's just gonna be his name. And Sanders is talented at throwing the ball, but do I think he's NFL talented? No, I don't think so. I think he's gonna be like, I think he's gonna like, you know, like nobody really wants to see anyone come out the draft and be bad.
Yeah.
But it's just like I don't see him coming in with the Giants situation doing well. So I think that he's going to end up on the Giants. Whether that's going to work out or not, I have no idea. But the pick is Shadur Sanders.
All right. So the fourth pick, the New England Patriots. I love this pick. It's a New England Patriot type of pick, and I'll explain why. The Mel Kiper has Travis Hunter going here. Now, I like this. The New England Patriots, as much as people hate them, I like their situation. I just don't understand what happened to them. They were a top 10 defense 2 years ago, and then it just plummeted last year. And for me, I'm a big Gonzo fan from the corner over there. That's an Oregon Duck too, right? Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah, that's also my little cousin.
Is it? That's what's up.
Yeah, yeah.
So Christian Gonzalez with Travis Hunter on the other side, I want that. I want to see that. I like that duo, but also playing a wide receiver, I guess. I don't know. Like your opinion. Do you think he does it?
He's gonna be one or the other.
Yeah, because
He's gonna be.
the reason
He'll,
why I
he'll
said
come in on offense. He'll come in on offense for like trick plays,
yeah.
but as a full time wide receiver, no. He's gonna
You
be like the Oppo Julian Edelman. You know how Julian Edelman played part time DB?
Yeah. Or Troy
Yeah.
Smith. That's why I brought that up because Troy Smith back in the day for the Patriots also did that too. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
good.
do with that too.
Yeah. So do you agree with this pick? I mean, that's to me, he's the second best behind Abdul Carter in this draft class. And him going number 4, that's a steal.
So I would say if the Patriots are smart, they're gonna get Travis Hunter and have him as a corner
Yep.
because I don't think he's gonna be a superstar receiver.
He'll be mid.
Because he plays both. He plays wide receiver, he plays corner, but he played them okay in college. This is the NFL now,
Yeah.
you know. And what are cornerbacks? Receivers that can't catch, right?
Facts.
So he's gonna be a corner.
Yeah, I like that. And again, I want to see him opposite of Christian Gonzalez because I'm a big Christian Gonzalez fan. So we're going number 5 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Um, Mel Kiper has the D tackle, Mason Graham from Michigan. I don't see that. I think they go blindside. We got to get as much protection for this man. They lost Cam Robinson to the Texans. They don't have a left tackle, and I believe they go left tackle at 5. So for me, the best left tackle, there's so many of them, man. I would say
There's a lot of tackles
is
there.
there's a lot of them. You could go Armand Membu. You can go the lineman from Texas, but he's a little. injury prone. But I think I'm gonna go Will Campbell, the LSU left tackle, who I think didn't show too much promise, but I think he's still gonna be a good left tackle in the NFL. So I think instead of the D tackle they pick in Mason Graham, they go left tackle to cover that void they did. I don't know what happened, but he traded Cam Robinson away. I was like, you don't have a left tackle now for the rest of the season. I didn't get it, but that's where I think they go.
So I think they. So here's the thing with the Jaguars. They always like their defensive line. You remember
Facts.
the Saxonville back in the day? They had Ngakwe, they had Dante Fowler, you know, all those
Those
big
guys.
dudes. You know,
Yeah.
I think they go with Mason Graham because at this point right now they're just gonna they have bad ownership, dude. Shah Khan don't know what he's doing half the time. Shows. You see AEW, but but they're gonna think that their offense is fine because they just have Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is gonna find his way out of Jacksonville and become a beast somewhere else.
Hell yeah.
But I think they're gonna just keep getting they're gonna get their defensive players and they're just gonna let like Trevor Lawrence right away until he either demands a trade or they just let him go in free agency.
All
So
right.
I think Mel Kiper is right. It's gonna be Mason Graham.
All right. So now we're going to the Raiders. Number 6
You
pick. They go. Mel Kiper says it's Ashton Genty from Boise State. They are lacking at the running back position. I see why he's picking the top running back in the class, but I don't think that's happening. I think they have a lot more problems to fix, and one of them to me is edge rush. And Max Crosby can't always do it by himself. So I see Jalen Walker from Georgia, and I'm like, I would take him over a running back because running back, like you said, you can grab a very good running back in the mid rounds, and this class has a lot of good running backs coming out, and you can catch them in the third, fourth, and fifth round. So for me, I'm never that type to pick a running back in the first round. I've never have been a fan of that because running backs are dime a dozen. So for me, it's not Anthony Genty. I don't agree with Mel Kiper. I see why he did it, but I'm going with the edge rush Jalen Walker on this one.
and John Walker is a beast pick. Uh, I mean, Tom Brady has his hands on the Raiders right now, right?
Yeah. Ooh, good point. I forgot. I didn't put that into my factor. That's a good point.
Did we wait? We haven't even talked about Will Campbell, huh? From LSU, the offensive
Although,
offensive guard
no, that's the one I used to pick for Jacksonville.
for Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's who I
That's one you pick.
use. That's your pick for
I say he goes to the Raiders.
the blindside for Gino.
Yeah,
Do you think he's a
yeah,
Pete Carroll guy? That's another factor.
I would think so because Pete Carroll he really like ignored offensive line from the Seahawks for a good long time.
Facts. I don't know how he was
But
doing good with that.
I have a friend who is a Seahawks fan, and he told me the last 2 years a lot of the sacks was because of Russell Wilson. He holds on to the ball too long. He runs around too much, and he was getting old. He wasn't as fast as he used to be.
Right.
Gino came in. Every time we play the Seahawks, we be killing them. Like Aaron Donald used to eat up the offensive line for breakfast. So it's hard for me to like judge their offensive line issues. Same thing it was with Russell Wilson, but I say Pete Carroll finally like gets over his offensive line demons, and I think they take Will Campbell.
That's a good pick because Will Campbell wasn't going to drop that far down.
Yeah,
So we're
they're,
going 7 to your second favorite team, the New York Jets.
they are not my favorite.
My, Mel Kiper has the best tight end in this class from Penn State, Tyler Warren. Just knowing that Tyler Conklin's gone, who to me is like no one's gonna think he's a big name guy, but he was always one of those solid pickups in fantasy. He always gave you a double digit for some reason. But Tyler Warren, I think, is a good pick right there. But with the Jets, they just have so much to fix. And when I talk about fixing stuff, tight end is cool, but I want you to worry about your offensive defensive line again. And I used freaking Jalen Walker, didn't I? So that means I have to use their other edge, which is Michael Williams. I'm taking the edge rusher again. Again, you want to be good at both trenches. Getting a tight end when you have quarterback issues, wide receiver issues, running back issues. You have issues. You have an entire
Yeah.
roster of issues. Tight end shouldn't be the first thing you do. And I don't think he's like Brock Bowers. He's going to come out and just kill out of nowhere.
Especially when he doesn't really have a quarterback, so give him the ball. Because
Facts. We don't know who's going to throw.
yeah, I mean, this wow, his name just completely is like jumped off my head. Justin Fields. There you go. Justin Fields is their quarterback. So who
Have
I think they're
fun.
gonna take, man, like I don't know, bro. Like if they Jalen Walker. I haven't picked Jalen Walker for somebody, did I?
Nope.
I mean, it's the Jets. You know, they always gonna want to have a decent defense. Is Jalen Walker good in NCAA? I'm asking for Woody Johnson.
He's good. Him and
All right,
Michael
yeah. So
Williams, they're
I say the
solid as
Jets
fuck.
take him because he has a high rating in Madden. So yeah, I say he takes.
All right, now we have number 8, the Carolina Panthers. They have Mel Kiper has Jalen Walker. He's already off the board for both of us. So for me, again, you have a really good quarterback. I believe he's just struggling because you're not protecting him. So what better way than to talk about protection? I'm going with Missouri's offensive tackle. I'm going with Armand Membu to be part of that offensive line to help solidify. Um, what's his name? I just said his name. Quarterback.
Bryce Young.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. My bad. It's like what is it? 9 in the morning right now. But
Yeah, fuck that.
yeah, I'm going with a blind side for him. You want to protect your franchise quarterback, so I'm going with Armand Membu.
You know what? I'm gonna roll with that too because they need offensive line help. It's horrible out there. The dude's shorter than me, and I'm already a short guy. So, but I don't have the arm talent that Bryce Young has, and I think he has the talent. He was good towards the end of the season too.
Facts. Yeah,
Like he was showing why he was a first round pick. But you need to protect your quarterback too. I mean, he got receivers. I mean, they're not gonna be there forever, but Thielen and who's the other dude that they had?
the the South Carolina rookie. I forgot his name too.
Yeah,
The one with the don't talk like this.
yeah, yeah, that guy. Yeah, he has weapons. You know what I mean? It's not like it's a Sam Bradford situation where they were drafting all these like offensive linemen and they have no one to throw the ball to. So I would say yeah, Armin Mimbu is a solid pick.
So we're going number 9 to the New Orleans Saints, which we already discussed has many problems. Mel Kiper gets Jackson Dart from Ole Miss. Now they do need a quarterback for the future, and he has been looking good on tape, but also at the combine. He has a cannon of an arm. Um, yeah, I think he hit this one on the head because I think that's the best available quarterback after those two that come off the board. And what better way to start a refreshed Saints team, but with getting a quarterback?
Um, so I don't even know what the Saints are doing, but I think Tyler Warren is going to be the pick over here from Penn State, the tight
Nice.
end. So I
Ah,
think they're
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
I think they're gonna pick him because we did talk about the Saints cap issue, right?
yes.
They're not gonna pay Derek Carr all this money for him to ride the bench.
True.
So they're gonna try to at least get him some weapons. I think Derek Carr is a good quarterback. He's just not a winner. That's
All
that's the issue that I have with Derek Carr. He's a good quarterback. He's just not a winner.
right.
So if he wants to win, he's gonna have to be a backup somewhere. But someone's gonna give him a starting job.
All right. This next team, number 10, you've talked highly about in our chat, and I'm glad we're talking live so you can talk about them too. Like, or not talking highly, but you're not disappointed at what they're doing. But the Chicago Bears at number 10, they got Michael Williams. I already took him off the board. Now, I am sticking with that notion of the defensive line and I still haven't drafted Mason Graham. So that's where I'm plugging him in. It's either that or I'm taking Ashton Genty because the offensive line, they revamped it this offseason, right? So they did what they had to do for Caleb Williams. Um, it's just we got to get the Bears to become the Bears type defense, and it starts with the interior line, and I believe Mason Graham goes there.
For this one, I do agree. It's going to be offensive line. Caleb Williams, he's talented. He needs to stop doing the same dumb shit he did in college. Stop running around until you get sacked. Stop running around until you see someone wide the fuck open down the field. It's not going to work like that in the NFL. Get
So
a good solid offensive line in front of the man because he panics too much. Coaching is another thing with them. They need someone to teach him. They need someone to teach him how to be an NFL quarterback because right now he's still playing NCAA. Get him on offensive line, make him feel protected. He'll have a little bit more confidence in his throws. Because when we played against the Bears, I don't know how the fuck we lost that game, but he looked confident in that game. So I say they get an offensive lineman, whether it's Josh Simmons or maybe Tyler Booker.
yeah,
I'll go with Simmons.
that's the Ohio State one, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, he's good too, and um, that's who I'm picking for number 11. It was two people for the 49ers that I was going with. It was going to be either offensive lineman or it was going to be that corner we talked about with Will Johnson. I did talk earlier that I want to go edge first, but I kind of shot myself in the foot by taking the edge rushes and threw them to another team before. So for this one, because I did that dumb decision, I'm going with offensive line, and I'm taking Josh Simmons right here because it was either him, I believe his name is Kelvin Banks from Texas, and then you had Membu, but I already took Membu out, but I'm going with Josh Simmons here. He plays right tackle. We need a right tackle, even though McKivitz played solid, but he's still not going to be our fix. So I'm going there again, like we discussed. It's either going to be the trenches to figure out, or somebody like a corner would go here for my 49ers. But yeah, I'm gonna go with them with Josh Simmons.
Josh Simmons is actually, yeah, that would be a good pick for you guys. But yeah, I'll give you guys Tyler Booker.
Okay, so there goes the
Tyler
offensive
Booker
line.
would be a good pick over here because you also need to understand is like you gotta like. Hopefully they don't change this playoff rule because if they change the playoff rules where it's like basketball, then rivals aren't even gonna be a thing no more.
Right.
But you got coming to the season knowing you gotta be better than 3 teams for you to have a home playoff game.
Yeah.
So you need to worry about what the Rams are doing, what the Seahawks are doing, what the Cardinals are doing. All right. Now you guys on like it's hard to say a rebuild, it's more like a remodel. Which y'all
Revamp.
remodel that's going revamp. Yeah, which y'all revamp that's going on. I will say, taking Tyler Booker on in this one would be smart because you got to deal with the young Rams defensive line. You got to deal with the Seahawks the Seahawks veteran defensive line and whatever the fuck the Cardinals got going on. So, and then like with you said, and I agree with you. The schedule is dumb easy, and Brock Purdy plays like there's no pass rush coming after him, and which is great. Tom Brady played like that.
Yeah.
So if you actually give him the protection where there's no one coming after him, he's gonna pick apart any defense. Like when you guys played against us, he was playing catch with Juwan Jennings the whole game. So yeah.
Oh yeah, he had a monster game against y'all in
Yeah.
LA.
It's just Matt Stafford just somehow turns into God in the fourth quarter.
Nice. All right, so we're going number 12 with Dallas Cowboys. All right. Mel Kiper has Omarion Hampton, who I believe is better than Ashton Genty from North Carolina, but I'm not taking Omarion Hampton. I think Dallas Cowboys always goes for the bigger name. So I think Ashton Genty, since I didn't draft him yet, I think he goes there. They're dying for a running back. They keep losing their running backs. That's where I see him going.
I agree. I'm surprised I didn't give him to anybody yet either. So I'll agree with you on that one. Dallas, they always want to have like that big name out there, that Hollywood name, and yeah.
All right.
I agree. It's gonna be Genty.
So number 13, Miami Dolphins. We have 3 more picks. Miami Dolphins. Mel Kiper has Will Campbell at this spot. He's no longer available for me, but I do think they go offensive line. But because of the way I've already mocked it, I'm going Tyler Warren because I still haven't drafted him. They don't have a tight end. They have all these nice, pretty receivers and a fast running back. And I don't see. Well, they have solid tight ends, but I'm still going to go Tyler Warren here from Penn State.
Alan Warren for Penn State. I think they go defense, man.
They
And I
need.
don't think they go like. I,
Yeah, I figured it out.
what's the old boy's name from Texas A&M?
What position?
He's an edge rusher. Is it Stewart? Shamar Stewart?
Is that his name? Hold on. Yeah, Shamar Stewart.
Yeah, I think they take him.
That's a solid pick right there. Yeah.
I think they take him because they got aging pass rushers, dude. Like
Yeah.
they're not gonna be there forever. Because Chubb and old boy I forgot old boy's name, number 19.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting up there in age, man. So yeah, I think they take Shamar Stewart.
All right. Number 14, the Indianapolis Colts. They go, Mel Kiper has Colston Loveland from Michigan, who's a solid tight end. But I don't go tight end here. I'm going with that corner. I know they revamped their DBs by getting Tavarius Ward and Cameron Bynum, but adding Will Johnson from Michigan, the guy that I was praising earlier, him on the other side of Tavarius Ward, I believe and that's a solid DB group. He has his mentor who's 29 who could replace him in 2-3 years to be the CB1. That's where I think the Colts go.
Um, what position do the Colts like keep missing in the draft? It's usually like don't say quarterback either.
Besides quarterback, they don't really miss much. I mean, I, they're underrated to me. I like their offensive line, but if I had to pick it, it's always their edge rushers that they get mediocre edge rushers. Ever since the old days of Dwight Freeney and Mathis, like they've
Robert
just been
Mathis and
yeah.
Freeney.
Ever since then,
Actually,
they've been trying to get edge, and they got one last year, Latu, and he's just been mid. He's just been an average, rotational guy.
all right, I'm gonna throw a curveball on you on this one. They're gonna take Malachi Starks in this one.
Malachi Starks, where do they have him on his group?
I say
Yeah,
they take Malachi Starks to lead their secondary.
that's a solid pick. They got Mel Kiper has him going 20 something to the Ravens, and you picked him what 14? That's not bad though, and
Bro,
it
that was
adds
a
on.
nasty against the Ravens.
It adds on. Malachi Starks is that guy, but him and Cameron Bynum and the Tavarius Ward, that'd be solid too. All right,
Yeah.
to wrap this up at number 15, the Atlanta Falcons. He has Mike Green from Marshall, the outside linebacker. That's what Mel Kiper has. Um,
Mike Green?
Mike Green from Marshall, the outside linebacker. He's an
Right.
edge. He's an edge rusher. So I'm looking at it. I'm thinking defense for sure. And if I'm thinking at anywhere, I'm going back to defensive line, and I think that's where Shamar Stewart would end up going because they're solid at DB. They're okay at linebacker, and I see why they want to go linebacker. But it's really edge or defensive tackle. But I'm going with Texas A&M's edge rush with Shamar Stewart.
Um, did I have anyone take Jahad Campbell yet?
No,
I think they get Jahad Campbell so he can run that defense. Cause they have Jesse Bates in their secondary. They have Terrell at corner.
yep.
So I think they have their set. And then they just picked up Jordan Fuller, which Jordan Fuller is solid.
Oh yeah, I like him. Former Ram.
Yep. Yep. Fucking Tom Brady pick. I forgot what it was, but I know it was like the last pick of the draft for us. But I say Jahad Campbell to run their defense.
Hell yeah.
He's a good
Okay.
linebacker. Alabama was great
Producing.
defensively against him. So
All right, man.
I
Listen,
say
any takes before we call it a cast for your first cast, not your last cast? This ain't gonna be last. It's gonna be a forever thing whenever you're ready to go. But any more hot
yeah,
takes before we call it a day?
I say like I know you said we're gonna do the top 15. We're not top 15, but we're at pick 26. But I'll say we'll get Josh Connerly on our pick.
Oh yeah, that's right. All the good teams when they pick last. We could we could do like another cast from 16 all the way down to 30.
No, we don't have to do all that because
No, I'm talking.
I'm not gonna remember the guys I picked.
Yeah, I'm just
But
talking like another time though.
yeah, but I think I'm standing firmly on like the Tennessee Titans is gonna trade their first pick. It's not the first time they did that.
There was a take some one of the media guys I saw on Facebook. He said that what if the Niners trade Purdy to the Tennessee Titans for that first round pick? I'm like, that's stupid. There's nobody there like that I want at number one. Like
That's not gonna
to
make an immediate impact. But you talked a lot about you guys missing on the first rounds, right?
yeah.
So throughout my lifetime as a Rams fan, we have had some stinkers in the first one. We had some really good hits in the first round. Don't get me wrong. Aaron Donald, Steven Jackson, Torrey
Ooh.
Holt. We hit good. We hit good in the first round. However, we drafted Greg Robinson over Aaron Donald because we had two first round draft picks that year. One of them was the number 2 overall from the Redskins, which was garbage offensive lineman. We drafted
Yeah.
Jimmy Kennedy over a guy. He's actually Samoan, pretty good. You probably heard of him, Troy Polamalu.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I heard him.
Yeah, yeah. He's in some of those like Head and Shoulders commercials.
For some
You probably
reason,
heard
like
of him.
I don't know why, but he wears this jacket that tan jacket. It says
Yeah,
Hall of Fame. I don't know what that is, but yeah.
yeah. So something like that. Yeah. But it's okay. We drafted uh guys like Alex Barron over Ed Reed. You
Yeah,
might have heard of him too.
our worst one will always be, and it's only because the Bears did it first, was we picked the third overall pick, and he just signed a 1 year deal somewhere. I forgot where. I think it was Dallas. I forgot his name too. He was from Stanford. Shout out to I'm a Stanford fan, but we picked him over Patrick Mahomes. So I get it. Like we could have had Pat Mahomes at one point. So there's a whole lot of those picks where like you could have had this person instead of that person.
Yeah, but some of it is like dead obvious. You know what I mean? No one's good. When my evaluation for Pat Mahomes, that I thought he was gonna be a good quarterback. I didn't think it would be this good.
Yeah.
But he reminded me he had that Jamarcus Russell feel. He had that 99 arm strength, no accuracy, not a lot of accolades going on with him. He doesn't listen to coaches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just like I'm like his strength is gonna be his weakness. He's just gonna drop back and bomb the ball every down. No, this man modeled Pat Mahomes from when he had Alex Smith. Just you know what I mean? Like and he sat a year. It's not like Pat Mahomes started like right off rip.
Yeah. He got to sit
He
behind
sat a
somebody.
year. He was learning mechanics from Alex Smith, which that's a good person to learn how to manage a game.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like I get where a lot of people are coming from with that one, but nobody knew that Pat Mahomes was going to be this good. And in my opinion, I think he's gonna retire the second best quarterback ever.
Yeah. Right now, because of his loss, they still got him top three with Joe Montana, but he's gonna surpass a lot of this stuff.
I mean,
He's not gonna be
they're
Brady, of
they're,
course,
they're
but
gonna keep going back. They're gonna
yeah.
keep going back, dude. It's not the end of the road for the Chiefs, unfortunately. But yeah, I stand like you never really know. And then on top of that, like we never really hit in the first round. I mean, this is the first round pick. Last year was the first round pick for Sean McVay, ended up being Jared Verse, who ended up being good the second half of the season.
That's the best
So
half of the season.
yeah, just it was important. But I think these are solid picks. But my take, I think Tennessee sells their first overall pick.
We'll find out. The draft's coming up. We'll have another cast where we talk about, maybe we should do that. Do once the first round is done, let's talk about who got picked at the first round, because second through the fourth round will be another day, and then of course fifth, sixth, and seventh is day three. So we could do a cast after every pick to see what you like and what you didn't like. But yeah, man, hey, listen, it's always a pleasure when I get one of my buddies out here. A majority of my group chats are military men that I met throughout my career, and always have good sports talks, or just shit talking in all of our chats, because Gonzo is also in the wrestling chat, and like I have a baseball chat. Shout out Mario, who's working right now. So we have I have a plethora of groups, and I just love getting on these casts. And Gonzo, this better not be your last one, man. We're gonna keep
Nah,
scheduling.
nah,
I,
I had a good time. I'll keep doing this.
Listen, it's been an honor. Everyone, like, comment, subscribe to the Subtle Flex podcast. This is the Route Tree, my boy. I'll see you again.
Holler,